Hello and welcome to Freed FM. I was on the fence about doing this because this is crazy to watch this. It's infuriating to a point. I even sent it to my own mother and she's like, I have to watch this in small doses because because she has blood pressure problems. She's like, my blood pressure is going too high. So what I'm talking about is 20 Trump supporters take on one progressive, which is Sam Seder. This was on Jubilee. I also have my reservations about talking about this stuff because I think people go now because like Jubilee has become so clippable that I think people go on there and say very outlandish things in order to get clipped and get recognition and notoriety from it. So I do think that like what everyone I'm going to show you is wholeheartedly talking about it. We're not going to watch the whole thing because obviously it's an hour and 30 minutes, but I have the most prominent clips that you're probably going to see on the web so you can watch them for context here and we'll talk about them. So we'll start off with the crazy religious man.
Hey. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Okay, so I would like to touch on the religious fundamentalist aspect.
Yeah.
Are you an atheist?
I'm a Reformed Jew. I don't have a strong belief in the existence of God, but I don't think that religion in and of itself is bad.
Okay, so what's wrong with religious fundamentalists? So like when you said trans rights and women's rights or something like that?
Well, the problem I have with religious fundamentalists, and really more, I guess.
So just to be clear, the question that he is proposing, it says, unless you're a billionaire, religious fundamentalist, or a xenophobic nationalist, voting for Trump was a mistake. Okay, and then this person is going to counter that point.
It's really theocrats. Okay. Is that they want to impose their morality that comes from their religion on the rest of us, and I don't.
But morality, from your view, is going to be a preference, right? It's not morality; it's a preference. So morality without a foundation is going to reduce you to a preference.
Well, I have a foundation for my morality.
Which is what?
It's a humanist vision of what basically creates as little suffering as possible for as many people.
Okay, so you're like a consequentialist? Utilitarian?
I don't really bother myself with being a consequentialist or a utilitarian.
It's always going to reduce you to a preference. So if you say that killing is wrong and I say it's right, you would really have no contention with that.
Well, no, I don't base my understanding of civil society on religion. And so we have a civil society. Okay. We have laws that we have decided as a society in a democratic way. And for some people, it's okay for it to be informed by their religion. That's okay.
Okay, perfect. So if tomorrow society comes together and we say, hey, trans folks don't deserve rights, you would be okay with that?
No, I would be against it, but I mean, it would be
morally right under your view.
I don't know where like they found all these smug, terrible people. I'm sure it wasn't too hard in this day and age, but like the smirks and rah from like the others watching, whoever's like on the hot spot is crazy in this shit.
Morally right. No. I'm not talking about morals here.
Okay, so here's where I'm getting to, right? Religious foundations provide an ethical framework for one to live their life off of.
I believe you can have an ethical framework without religion.
And if we take the leftist view to its logical tail end, to its extreme view, you have low reproductive birth rates. You have a reproductive dead end, so two men together can't reproduce unless they have to take from a healthy straight couple. Religion provides this foundation where you do prioritize the nuclear family.
So do you have a problem with gay people being married?
It's not that I have a problem. I just don't see a justification for why they ought to be gay outside of it just feels good. Can you give me another justification for it?
Well, I think maybe that's the way they were born.
Okay, what about pedophiles?
Dude. Like, not to just tear down this guy's whole fucking worldview, religion also just there to make you feel good. Stupid. Actually there. Whereas gay people are actually fucking born gay. You know? You're not born religious. You're taught it. You don't come out just believing in God. You fucking idiot. See, this is what I mean. Like, this guy's whole argument, when I'm listening to it, I'm like, bro, everything you're criticizing, where he keeps like saying preference, it comes down to a preference. It's like, you could say that religion is the same thing. Like, religion has set values, but so does society. Like, what are we talking about? Like, people have preferential treatment of what values they choose to like follow in a religion, unless you're a fundamentalist, in which case, like, but seriously, it's the same thing.
Are they born that way?
They may be, yeah.
Okay, so should we let a pedophile off the hook since they are born that way?
Maybe that's the way they were born.
Okay, what about pedophiles? Are they born that way?
They may be, yeah.
Okay, so should we let a pedophile off the hook since they are born that way?
No, I think we as a society has decided.
Should implement duties to prevent them from acting on that innate urge, correct?
Well, I think between consenting adults, it's a different thing than.
Okay, so you're okay with a
children.
45-year-old dad with a 19-year-old daughter as well? Incest.
No.
If they consent, you're okay with that?
No, I think society has also determined that it's like it's not beneficial.
Right, there's duties and obligations that we have, so religion provides those duties. Life isn't about
Well, but
freedom
also
and
I can-
exercising what you want.
I mean, well, you want to impose your religious doctrine
No,
on me,
because
and I don't want that.
you just admitted we need duties. We have responsibility as a society to keep us functioning, to keep us thriving. Your leftist view, the liberal view, doesn't provide anything besides it just makes me feel good. Religion does. So what's your argument?
It just makes you.
What's my argument as to why I don't want
You have no
your
contention.
religion to? Well, because first of all, I don't think that you have the right to corner what God is telling us is right or wrong. And there are differences between religions. And so my argument is, you know, like, you're not going to keep halal or kosher, right? I mean, I don't believe that someone has a corner on religious truth. And the reason why we have a democracy is because we didn't want a king. And the kings came from the idea that their God said that they're the ones who's supposed to be king. And so we can disagree on this. I don't want to live in a country that is ruled by religious fundamentalism.
And if I do, you have no issue with that.
And no. And this is why I say, under Trump, yes, you have won.
Yes.
You have a
Only
bunch
male
of
and
Christian.
female. You're right.
You have a
We
Christian
won.
nationalist.
Such a fucking smug little bitch. Bro, like, straight up, if you think like this guy, you're fucking brain dead. All right? You're fucking, because you know what you are? You're part of the crowd that wants to just, like, this guy just wants to, like, live his religion. Like, he wants to have a core family values, like, blah, blah, blah. Leave me alone. Like, all this shit. Like, let me live my life. Don't fucking force gay down my throat. All this. Just live his life. But you know what's crazy is that when other people want to fucking do it, no. Male or female. No. You're a fucking sensitive little bitch. Okay? And it's so fucking obvious. And you know what? You lack self-awareness to the fucking bottom of the barrel that you can't even, like, figure that out. That you are legitimately, like, asking for the same shit. You're asking for fundamental fucking human rights to just be able to express your freedom of religion yourself. And you want to take that away from other people who are doing nothing to you, just trying to live their life and have basic fucking human rights. Okay? So fuck this guy for real. And fuck anyone that thinks like him.
Yes,
and
which is necessary.
And so I concede the point that under Trump, your Christian nationalism has gained an advantage under this.
Sorry, we're going to
And
have
so
more kids. We're going to have less abortions. We're going to have more family. We're going to have stable family households. Sorry about better
Trans
education.
People, gay people
Better education
should be
ain't happening.
They should be
outlawed.
straight. They should be straight.
Women should be secondary to their husbands.
Women should submit
right?
to the husbands.
Women
that doesn't
should
mean
submit to the
that doesn't mean they are
husbands.
slaves.
Right,
It doesn't
no,
mean they are
I
slaves. It means
understand.
they are
I
protected.
understand. You
Okay,
got
let
a
me ask you then. Let me
hierarchy.
ask you.
No.
Should
I
women
want
be
you-
drafted?
listen,
Should women be
listen,
drafted?
Listen, I think
If they're equal, should they be drafted?
I think this is the vision that you have, and I think Trump
they wanna
supports
serve.
it.
Yes.
I think the Christian nationalists he has throughout his government are all going to work towards your vision.
Yes.
And my hope is that when people look at this, they say, hey, wait a second. I don't want my life to be dictated by the notion of a Christian nationalist prescription. Now, you may win out. I mean, certainly, like, if you look at a country like Iran, they have a theocracy there, and apparently that's, you know, good for them if they want it.
My final point is whenever
but
we
I
see,
don't want to live in a
My final point is
theocracy.
whenever we see people live out Christian values to its full extent, we see a great society. When we see people deviate from that, that's where all the problems arise.
All right.
I
pause.
think you are at home in the Trump. Trump
Thank you very much.
You've been voted out. Please return to your seat.
Oh my God. I mean, like, you wouldn't have people who leave religions if this is true, you know? Like there are people who have abstained from religions or left, like I said, like left religions, due to fundamentalist thinking and the control that it has like over their lives, or that imposed control over their lives. So this guy is so full of shit. He's so down the rabbit hole, bro. But you know what? Like I stand on the point, like he's happy living his life. The problem is, and like that, dude, I don't fucking care about how he lives his life, how like his companions choose to live their life. As long as like no one's being hurt, harmed, whatever, as long as they're fucking happy, I don't give a shit. This guy, he seems to give a huge shit about how everyone but his fucking current, like people except who are not in his current fucking proximity are living their damn life. So he can eat a bag of dicks. All right, let's move on. We're going to go to this girl. She was the second most clippable.
So I actually think that this liberal world order needs to be thrown away completely, and I think Christian nationalism would be a good alternative. What we're seeing right now is just
congratulations.
And thank you. And yeah.
Like there used to be like the separation of church and state. That was a huge fundamental part that, religion and politics should never, intersect because of the governance of two and like the imposing of the will of your religion on the masses. So this is clearly what their core thinking is. They've been raised to think this. They're not going to change like their thinking, not anytime soon, I would think. But this is a very terrifying time where these people think that they know best for everybody. And it's just not the case. Most general like libs are just living their life, hoping the betterment of everyone, even these people who mostly suck.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing right now is a culture of death. This is the most suicidal generation ever. We have millions of children dying by abortion. People aren't even reproducing. We don't even have like a.
Should we mandate people reproduce?
No, I don't think we need to mandate. We can just stop them from killing their kids.
You want to outlaw abortion?
Yes.
Yes. I mean, we have a fundamental disagreement on this, and my claim was that if you voted for Trump, it would be to your benefit if you want to outlaw abortion.
I think it would benefit everyone.
Yeah, I disagree. I think that that women should have the right to choose.
I think that it would benefit everyone to bring back the family unit, to stop having women just thrown into the workforce.
Maybe we shouldn't allow women to choose to divorce unless their husbands say it's okay.
I mean, I don't really believe in divorce in general.
Dude, the guy behind her is shaking his fucking head.
This I think, though, reinforces my point that if you are
But it would be better for society. It would be better for everybody in society. And same with xenophobic what's the problem with xenophobic nationalism? Don't you think that's better for Americans in general?
Xenophobic nationalism is better.
We should have a coherent culture. Everyone should be a part of the same culture. We should have assimilation.
Do you get to choose what the culture is?
We already have a dominant culture.
What is
based
the dominant
on
culture?
European and Christian values and identity. That is the dominant culture.
White Christian,
it's rooted in European identity.
So your argument is that
has been the dominant culture.
Just to be
clear. And we're not letting people assimilate to that. We're saying you should keep your culture, and this is why our culture is so divided.
Your argument is that Trump is good for those who want a dominant white European.
It's nice to see a little bit of disgust in the room, like the minorities who, albeit are Republicans and Trump supporters, are like, yo, this bitch is crazy.
Culture.
I mean, that is what America is. It's rooted in European identity and Christian values. That's what it has been.
Oh my God, this is literal Nazi propaganda.
What is it then, if that's not the identity of America?
Should we close the schools or open them? I don't even know anymore. Like, clearly they're not learning. Like, what the fuck are we talking about here?
I think the identity of
For the
America,
majority of time, America's been a country. You don't think that's been the identity?
Well, actually, no. I think actually the identity of America has been, for better or for worse, a melting pot in that regard.
Yeah, maybe since like the 1960s. Even then, like even we had this idea of a melting pot literally means assimilation too. It means melting. It means you're assimilating to the dominant.
She doesn't know what it means. She doesn't know what it means. Abort.
And now instead we're saying there's something wrong with xenophobia.
Culture. No. I mean, look, I got to be honest with you. Like, you and I have a fundamental disagreement. We will never see eye to eye on this. It's a choice. And people, I think what you're expressing, though, is really what the Trump movement at its heart is.
This is a really good example of what I was trying to say before. And like, I know abortion, it's a hot topic issue, but like that's just it. Liberals advocating for a choice. Republicans, no choice. This is what I mean. Choices. Like, how the fuck is that a bad thing to have choices? Just in like so many avenues. We don't need to all prescribe to the same shit. Okay? We're individuals. Okay? Be yourself. Be yourself. From Billy Madison.
And I think that's problematic.
I disagree. I don't think Trump's like anywhere close to being a Christian nationalist. That's ridiculous. Like Trump's basically a Democrat from like 15 years ago when it comes to social issues.
So you don't think that he's conservative enough for you?
Oh, definitely. Nowhere close. No.
He's not xenophobic enough for you?
No, he's trying to import a bunch of H-1Bs. Are you kidding?
Right. Oh, so you want to get them out too? Yeah. No, I mean, I think you're making my argument for me.
All right.
Well,
okay.
I'm just saying he's not even in here. Okay.
I think you're making my argument for me. And she really was. She was super nervous through that. Like, and that's what I mean. Like, is she like, I don't know. She seemed like she believed it. So, but is she saying super heinous shit, like more than like exaggerating her views? I'm not trying to make excuses. She's still racist as fuck. Don't get it twisted. But I don't know. Then again, that outfit screams like, I hate all people of color. So the long skirts, bro, something about it, it's just like, gives me a vibe. All right, so the two most hateful people, real quick off the bat, and then we're gonna go to this one is just, it's making the rounds, okay? This kind of shows just the level of intellect that we're dealing with here. It really just shows like the level of education and how informed people are in this room. This one is it's the most talked about. It's the most commented on in this video. It is literally where I stopped watching for the most part. Let's get into it. Oh, this is also a different question. It's Trump's attacks on DEI hides his real goal, which is to give corporations more power.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Okay, when it comes to DEI, essentially, if a person was not racist, he would hire someone regardless, right? So why would we need a policy to protect a person if we've moved past racism? So would you consider yourself racist?
Wait, are you suggesting we've moved past racism?
Would you consider yourself racist?
I consider myself, and sometimes I think we all practice like some form of, white supremacy. I think actually like we all do to some degree.
Well, I'm glad that you're saying that. So I guess going to the LGBT topic, it seems like it's very prevalent for you as an issue.
Well, it seems like a big issue. I mean, the Republican Party spent literally hundreds of millions of dollars demonizing trans people.
Well, the reason why they've done something like that, and I think you're misconstruing the narrative, they haven't demonized them. They simply want protections back for their own children, because children are being stripped away from
their parents. Who's their own children? Wait, children are being stripped away from their parents?
Yes, due to AB 954, they've now included gender identity as a premise to remove and strip parental rights for children who maybe they are rejecting their gender ideology.
So, but you'd be okay with parents who agree with their children's doctors to provide gender-affirming care?
I do not agree with that. Do you?
I believe that parents and doctors can make those decisions If with the kids,
If
of
a
course.
child can't smoke, drink, or have sex before the age of 18, they should not be able to consent to a sex change. Now, in
Well,
terms of a
I don't know that
DEI
they can,
initiative, the reason why there's military bans on trans women and trans men is because they do not have the ability to cooperate at a mental capacity when they're constantly undergoing hormone treatment, as well as depression pills, as well as different mood stabilizer pills. And so when you go out to combat, do you really think you're going to bring an ice cooler pack with your whether that be hormone estrogen or
Oh my
whatever
fucking
it may
God.
be, while you're
See,
about
like
to
you're so like misinformed on this topic. Like that's not at all what would have to take place. They can return to base. I mean, like, sure, like it is like a risk that like you could take. Like you might not be able to like have hormone injections, but like to say that like they're not at like a same functioning mental capacity because of being trans is a gross inaccuracy. It's not even like remotely true. Okay. Women serving them, like men, women, like, you know what I mean? Guess what's flowing through them? Hormones. So it doesn't fucking matter. Like you don't know shit about shit.
shoot someone of the opposing
Well,
war.
the executive orders that Trump gave were DEIA orders that had to do with agencies that have nothing to do with the military.
Yes, they do. Yes, they absolutely do.
The FDA, they just revoked the ability of the Air Force to teach Air Force members about the Tuskegee Airmen.
Well,
Like,
we're not-
what are we talking about here?
Okay, well,
Honestly, like they're rewriting history.
well, that's your perspective, right? But at the end of the day, if a person
Tuskegee Airmen, we can all agree, existed, right?
just listen to this. If you were racist, right, and you were an employer, and if you wanted to absolutely be racist and exercise that, you would. I think DEI sort of prevents people from seeing the reality. If a person truly wanted to hire you based on your intellect, based on your skill set, they would. DEI essentially provides tax cuts. For the end of the year, when you create your tax returns, they give you a tax credit for hiring someone who is black or a person of color. I don't know if you knew that.
In these agencies?
In agencies and private
In government
businesses.
agencies, they don't get tax cuts for hiring people
And
of
the other
color.
thing I
This
wanted
is
to,
to
and I,
protect
the other thing
people
I
from
want to
discrimination.
the other thing I want to
Look, I believe in a meritocracy, okay? But I want to be very fucking clear. DEI just allows people like who marginally would not get seen for the job, okay? Doesn't mean they're not qualified for the job. Doesn't mean that they can't do the job. It just means that like marginally they are such a small portion of the applicants, like of the applicants that apply, that to get, like they would get buried. So I think that is a good thing. Okay. You're like, oh my God, it's just so stupid that it has nothing to do with people being unqualified. We're talking about people being marginalized when it comes to the job market, to the application process. Okay. That's it.
kind of state here is that I've realized that a lot of the times with the liberals is that you guys push for example, for DEI and people of Latino or Hispanic descent. And a lot of the times what you don't realize is you're actually doing more harm than good by putting them in positions where you make them believe that it's based on the color of their skin. It's based on...
DEIA does not, is not
It's based on merit. DEI emphasizes color, skin color,
No,
physical
it
attributes.
says that the people who work in your agency, it's about anti-discrimination.
Discrimination against what?
Against people who may have different cultural mores, may have different...
But that's irrelevant to a job, right? It should be based on merit. And that is the emphasis
People
here.
get hired as a merit, but if the
Not if you get a tax
if the DEIA...
Look, like DEIA, it also covers like women, like people who are physically disabled, like people with learning disabilities. It's not just fucking people of color, man. Like fucking do a little bit of research. It's not just, it's about marginalized groups, okay? It's about people that might not get seen And it's allowing them to get seen. It doesn't mean they can't do the job. It doesn't mean they didn't go to school for it. It doesn't mean that they're fucking walking in off the street. You're black, you're hired. You know, it's not that, dude. Like, it's legitimately ways to shrink the candidacy pool, like where you're including people from marginalized groups who wouldn't necessarily get seen. Fuck, what? Like, you know what? You want to make it fair? Well, it's like first come, first serve, whoever first fucking applied. Like, what does it matter? You know? Like, oh my God. I'm sorry. It's just like, it's such an easy concept to grasp, but people love to use, like, it has been, like, they've turned it into this monster that it's like these completely, like, unqualified people are being hired, which is not the case.
I'm talking about Trump's rescission of
If
these
you
orders
received a
on these
tax cut as
agencies.
an employer, wouldn't you hire a person of color?
Dude,
If you could pay them less?
listen, we're talking about government agencies that do not get tax cuts. Government agencies,
They don't.
no,
Yes,
these are,
they do.
No, this
They
is
ask the person of color?
dude.
Not if you get a
If the
tax
DEIA, I'm talking about Trump's rescission of
If
these
you
orders
received a
on
tax
these
cut as
agencies.
an employer, wouldn't you hire a person of color?
Dude,
If you could pay them less?
listen, we're talking about government agencies that do not get tax cuts. Government agencies,
They don't.
no,
Yes,
these
they
are,
do. They absolutely do.
I'm talking about
Every
parts of-
private and public sector gets tax cuts when you hire a person of color.
You know why they don't get tax cuts? Because it's paid for by your taxes. Government funded. It's a government operation.
Government agencies don't pay taxes. Government agencies are funded by the government.
That is not true. That is not true. And you know what? I think the whole juxtapose of this entire conversation.
What month is this?
This is January.
Okay, so we can agree on that. The FDA does not pay taxes. It does not get a tax cut because it doesn't pay taxes. DEIA forces them as an agency to say, if you have a job opening, you must do your best efforts to make sure that every
I like that. I
part
love
of
me a
society.
buzzword. You must do your best effort.
It's not a
I love
buzzword.
that buzzword.
Okay,
Because
pause.
you feel like you have to. You're pressured
Pause.
to.
Yes.
You shouldn't be pressured to hire someone based on skin color.
No, not to hire someone on skin color, but put up notice about that the job exists. Make sure that you put it in different communities so that you have as wide an application pool as possible.
And therefore you get tax
right.
cuts.
All right, return to
At
your
the
seat.
end of the year when you file taxes, you get a tax cut for hiring someone who speaks a
Please
different
return to your
language or
seat.
different skin color.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Oh man. But we're talking about government fucking agencies. All right, whatever. That is that's all I'm going to show you. If you want to watch the whole thing, like I said, it's an hour and 30 minutes. It's grueling to go through all of it. Some people stand up really good to Sam Seder as well. So it's interesting to obviously hear other people's perspective and like how they look at it. I think Sam Seder obviously holds his own. He's very good when it comes to things like this. The thing about the last person that went, the thing is that this is blowing up online currently. So some conservatives have, because the man was gay, or at least sounds kind of gay, they've compared him that he's the lib and that Sam Seder is actually not. So they're tweeting liberals are so dumb about him, thinking he's the liberal. Now, and then of course you have people talking about how he's the plant. It's like, no way, like these people are so grossly uneducated. It's like, dude, you're literally describing Trump's voter base, grossly uneducated. And then of course you, like, not only that, you had the look when you have to debate a brainless, witless social justice warrior clown whose IQ is mid 50s. You're so uninformed that you're not even getting the fucking video about not being fucking informed Wrong! What are we talking about here? Okay? Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you in the next one.